Welcome back to Hintzes in the house. We are the Hintzes, but this is our house. Ethan, what are we talking about today?
Well, a couple weeks ago at this point now, you showed me on your phone, Build-A-Bear is doing a crossover with Lord of the Rings. And you were like, well, first off, I remember both you and Brock were like, look at this Gollum. It's so gross and creepy and weird and nasty.
It was. Gollum is always gross and creepy and weird and nasty.
Okay, right. But it was the cutest Gollum has ever been in his entire freaking life.
However true that may be, he's still Gollum.
Right. I'm just laying down the facts here. This is where we give out facts. This is a fact-based podcast, not an emotionally driven podcast. Fact.
I think that's a lie.
Hot take fact.
What? Hot takes.
The real hot take.
We don't have time for it.
Africa.
No. We could talk about that at the end.
Africa.
No.
I keep saying Africa. People are like, yes, what about Africa, Ethan? Africa. The song Africa by Toto.
Best.
Reliant K's version. Much better.
No.
Yes.
We should do an entire episode of hot takes, and then I can properly dismantle your opinion.
Listen. Toto's Africa is good.
Iconic, classic,
Reliant
best.
K's Africa is better. And if you don't believe me, listen to First off, just listen to Africa by Reliant K. Before you come at me with you're wrong, Ethan. Just listen to the whole song front to back, maybe twice, because it's that good. And just tell me, there's I think it's at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. Maybe 3 minutes into the song. I don't remember
obsessive.
Where. The harmony that Reliant K does.
Get your chef's kiss out of here and your hot takes out of here. We are not talking about hot takes.
Lord of the Rings. As everyone listening obviously knows, my all-time favorite anything ever is Lord of the Rings. So you showed me these Lord of the Rings Build-A-Bear. I
did.
You did. Do you want to know how much these freaking bears are?
Listen, it's Build-A-Bear. I'm not surprised. Tell me.
$65.
Okay, but is that the base bear or is that the Gandalf bear?
If you want to buy a Frodo Lord of the Rings bear, $65 freaking dollars for a stuffed animal bear that looks like Frodo.
Okay, but it looks like Frodo.
I would maybe spend $65 on the one here that looks like Gandalf. Maybe, but probably not.
Okay, but how much is the base bear?
Base bear. Let me see.
Like the plain.
Buildabear.com, Lord of the Rings. I'm not entering my email. Allow the cookies. The base one is $30.
Okay.
$30 for a stuffed animal bear that has Lord of the Rings written on the paw. And then it's got a map of Middle Earth kind of on its other paws. The Gollum, 7-inch Gollum, $15.
Okay, because he's 7 inches.
Yeah, and that's still kind of worth it.
Never. I just can't imagine you giving our future child at some point a 7-inch Gollum and being like, here, and then them thinking that's a normal stuffed animal to have.
The Gandalf and the Frodo costume by themselves, both $28.
Yeah, that checks out.
If you just want the sword, Frodo's sword sting, if you just want that, only $6.
There you go, see? You just gotta play it. You just gotta get the base bear and then the sword and then be like, it's Frodo! Yeah.
Build-A-Bear?
I am not surprised. Build-A-Bear has always been expensive. So, I mean, Build-A-Bear usually is located in malls, if I remember correctly.
You want the pumpkin glow bear?
Probably.
$50.
Well.
You want a Gengar Build-A-Bear? $53.
Who wants a Gengar Build-A-Bear?
Do you want a Baby Yoda Build-A-Bear?
Absolutely.
$80.
Yeah, that checks out.
$80.
You know what, though? Build-A-Bear is doing smart by that, because Baby Yoda checks out. I am not surprised. Build-A-Bear has always been ridiculously expensive. If you guys don't know.
This Boba Fett bear is pretty cute, though.
Okay, well, take your Boba Fett.
$45. A Jawa, only $58.
Sir, we were trying to have a podcast here.
Yeah, I'm looking at. We're
we
having a podcast.
know how expensive Build-A-Bear is.
Do you want a Baby Yoda graduating?
No, I don't.
Because there's a Baby Yoda graduating.
Look at him go. He's just,
Oh, and you can buy one of those frog things that he eats.
Yum. And the cup. Oh, so cute. Okay. Here's the thing. Build-A-Bear, for those of you who don't know, is a place where you go to build a bear. Listen, some people are sheltered.
I was homeschooled and I know what Build-A-Bears are.
Yeah, but you know what Build-A-Bears are because you were homeschooled. The two are not mutually exclusive.
Do you know about Build-A-Bears because you were homeschooled?
No, but because I was an only child.
So the two are mutually exclusive.
No, because I'm an only child. It's different.
What? Is the only homeschoolers and only child know what Build-A-Bear are?
Listen, other people might not know or might not have gotten it. So you go and you pick out a stuffed animal husk.
Yeah, you pick out a skin sack.
Okay, that's a terrible name for it.
A skin sack of an animal.
A little more appealing.
And it's just this floppy little
sacco
should be stuffed animal.
Right.
It's an unstuffed animal. You pick out an unstuffed animal.
And then you take it to a worker who stuffs it for you. And they have like a long tube that they put in the back of the bear or other animal.
Is this not safe for work?
Okay, it's like an open gaping hole in the back of the animal. It's not like their butt. Anyway, and the tube is connected to like the stuffing machine, and so they like press the thing. And mine always like gave it to me, and they were like, "You want to give it a hug? Do you need more or less?" Like that kind of thing. So they would like take stuffing out or put more in if it wasn't firm enough. It's a thing. And then they had this
I never got that.
They had this little satin red heart that you would like kiss and then like put in the bear.
Yeah. Also, they didn't ever make me do that. They always were like, okay, here's this heart. They're like, okay, go like run around that thing 3 times and like do 4 jumping jacks. Yeah. And
they were like,
now do a backflip and go mug that man over there and go steal that lady's purse and put 15 cents inside the bear also.
I'm sure that they were like, boys don't love, which is stupid, but I'm sure that they were like, I'm not going to ask
you can't argue with that logic.
I'm not going to ask this boy child to kiss his heart and put it in the bear. Like, I feel
like
that
they
was
also had me do that, but first they had me do like
no.
a random side quest.
You gotta get the side quest before you get the love. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Usually how it works. Okay. Anyway, so then at that point too, you could also put in like a voice box if you wanted to, like when you hugged your bear, if you wanted it to. I never did either because it was more money. But I could see it being appealing because you could also do like ones that were pre-recorded that were like in a bear voice or whatever that were like, I love you, whatever. But you could also have one that had your parent's voice. So like if you squeezed it, it would be your parent like saying something kind.
Are you cleaning your room?
Right, something like that.
Pick up this mess.
Yeah, right? So then after that, they stitch your bear up the back.
Someone feed the cat.
Truly. They stitch your bear up the back and they hand it to you. And then you go over to the washing station. And I use washing in quotes because it's like this fake thing that makes water sounds.
I didn't remember this until you told me. I think it just shoot out air or something?
Yeah. I think it just shoots out air and like blue light. So it makes it seem like water. I have like a physical photo of me at my first time at Build-A-Bear at the washing station, which is why I remember this.
We probably have pictures somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. That seems like something my mom would have taken pictures of.
For sure. And then after that,
I've never seen them.
You have that, and then you have like a blow dry phase thing or whatever. So then that's at the back of the store. So you go in, you pick out your skin sack. Gross. You get it stuffed. This is all like
unstuffed animal.
Your unstuffed animal. You walk in, you go to the right. They like stuff it for you. You go to the back of the store. You're doing all your bath things. And then you turn around
maybe the stuffing is on the left in some stores.
Well, probably not. And
you're gonna confuse our viewers. They're gonna get their skin sack and they're gonna be like, to the right. Where's the stuffing machine? Help!
Oh my gosh! If any of our viewers are doing this as grown people without children, may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, you're kind of creepy if you're doing that.
Anyway, so you get done with your bathing station and you turn around the corner to the left, and that's where all of the outfits are.
Rows and rows of outfits.
And this is where they get you. My guy.
Well, first off, they've already got you because you walk in with children who are like, stuffed animals.
I know.
And you're like, oh, great. There goes all of the money I had ever.
I know. And I mean, honestly, if you wanted to do just a base bear, and the cheapest one, I think is like $15. So if you want to just give that experience to your kid so they can have all of that, like that's great. But the outfits,
well, they're probably around like $15 to $18, and of course, if I get a dog, I'm gonna dress it up like a firefighter and like a police officer
100%.
and like a doctor. Of course, I'm gonna freaking do that. I've already got the dog.
Right.
Why wouldn't I?
Exactly.
But
I remember
they probably
ran
sales.
No, I don't think so.
Probably like buy 3 get the 4th one free
to
make you
sure,
buy a lot. Not like a sale, but like a make you spend more. We'll give you something for free, but we're gonna spend way more than you would if we didn't do this.
Right. And I know that they had like outfits and then they had like individual pieces. So like if you just wanted to get a t-shirt for your teddy bear, that was like $5, which is still like excessive.
Right.
But at least then you're not walking out with a naked bear, you know?
Yeah, heaven forbid your stuffed animal is naked.
So then you go and you pick out your outfit. Again, that's where prices get crazy. Like you were saying with the base bear, Lord of the Rings bear is like $30, but then the Gandalf or the Frodo one is like $60.
And when I was a kid, they didn't do any cool like crossovers.
Oh yeah,
they
that wasn't a thing.
Maybe Disney did a crossover with Build-A-Bear.
Probably.
Maybe. I would assume they probably did. But like other than that,
the crossovers, I don't know how recent they are, but I have seen them a lot, and I feel like that's, you know, a new movie comes out and they just flood the stores with all of the the crossover kind of things. This one, I saw one recently that was also Harry Potter crossover, and I feel like those are like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, like you're geared towards the teenager, maybe the adult buying for their child. Like I think they're trying to make them more grown up.
I don't think any 6-year-old going into Build-A-Bear is going to be like, I love watching Lord of the Rings. Like,
right. So you go, you pick out your outfit,
battles.
You dress your bear, and then there's like you check out, and then I think after checkout there's a naming station.
Right.
And there's like little computers all set up. And this was, I think for me, this was before I was like, when I was a kid and doing it, before I was like allowed to use the computer at my mom's house. So this felt like a novel. My house. It felt like a novel experience of getting to like go on the computer. But you just input their name. It's like it prints a birth certificate for them, so it has the date, their name, your name, where you live, like that kind of thing.
It should be like I don't know. Frankenstein wasn't born; he was assembled. It should be an assembled certificate.
Certificate of assembly. Yeah, and then they like print that out for you and you get to take it home with your bear. They give you this box that's shaped like a house, like your bear is coming home in a house, and it's got
cardboard
like
box. It's
almost like blueprint colored except reverse, so it's like white with like blue outlines on it that I think are meant to be colored in.
I never colored them in.
I also never colored them in, but I'm pretty sure like then you could
Those boxes
have that.
don't last long. I think me and Alex and Silas maybe sometimes had fights with the boxes.
Yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
We could use them as clubs.
But all in all, a very expensive experience at Build-A-Bear. At some point in my life, I don't know if this is me like being ashamed or like putting my mom on blast. Either way, I had like 7 of them. I had a lot. I had a lot of Build-A-Bears and a lot of outfits, and they all obviously had their own names. I had like all the different kinds. I had like a pink poodle, and I had a husky, and I had like a monkey and a frog, a purple bear named Penelope. She was great. She was my first one. So I had a lot of them. And then I don't know if I like celebrated their birthdays, but I like made it notable because you could like fill it out when you got it. So I like made it notable that it was that. I feel like I would pay special attention to them on their quote unquote birthday. But I'm an only child, so over the course of however many years, 7 Build-A-Bears was not as, extreme. Whereas for you,
all 4 or 5 of us getting one every time we go,
which is insane.
Obviously, as like we got older, the older kids phased out of wanting a Build-A-Bear, obviously. So it wasn't like mom had to buy 5 Build-A-Bears every single time.
Right.
But still,
it's wild. It's wild.
Even like 2 or 3 of them are still going to run you a lot, especially if you're going to not just get the unstuffed animal.
Right.
And stuff it.
Right.
If you're going to get anything else
I think that at a certain point, because then I had so many clothes for all my other ones, like my mom would be like, you can get the animal and that's it. And then we'd like dip.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So that would save us money there. But just a crazy, and I'm an only child, the stuffed animals were a thing for me.
Stuffed animals were a thing for me too, and I had 4 other siblings. I think stuffed animals are just a children thing.
I think maybe you're an only child at heart.
No.
So that was an experience. I had other expensive toys, or wanted other expensive toys growing up. I really wanted an American Girl doll for the longest time. Whoa.
I think we can all just agree that children's toys is a racket.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
I think of the episode of The Office.
Like this guy, probably like.
Oh yeah, Funko Pop figures are $20 a piece. It's stupid.
I didn't buy any of these, but still.
Yeah. No, I think of the episode of The Office where Dwight buys up all of the unicorn things before Christmas and then sells them at crazy prices, and then parents just buy them because
can you just imagine
have to.
If I had an extra $60 right now? Instead, I have 3 Funko Pops.
Yeah, but you didn't buy any of these.
Exactly. Just imagine if someone gave me $60 instead of having these Funko Pops. I could go to the store and buy like
3 Funko Pops.
Or I could buy some blackberries, which are going to do me a lot more better than these 3 Funko Pops when I'm starving to death.
Okay.
Or when I'm hungry.
So American Girl dolls, also expensive. $100 a doll, easy. They're probably about like this big.
I know what they are. I didn't have any, but I know what they are.
Well, I just mean like, I don't know, like
because I was an American boy.
2 feet tall, something like that. Not like a Barbie. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying like $100 for a Barbie.
I know what an American Girl doll is.
But maybe other people don't.
If you don't know what an American Girl doll is, you have this thing in your hand called a phone. You can hit on the interwebs up at the top. If you take that, it's Google. Anyway,
the whole point
of amazing, this Google thing. You can search for anything.
The whole point of American Girl dolls is that it was these girls that fictionally existed in American history. And so I wanted this one named Samantha.
Samantha.
And I did not get her for many years. My mom instead got me the baby doll version of American Girl doll, which was called a Bitty Baby. And looking this up late, yeah, I know.
Bitty Baby.
Okay. And looking this up later, I'm pretty sure they cost the same. So I was like, Mom, what the heck?
An American Girl baby doll?
I have no idea. But she got me it for Christmas one year with the stroller, all the accessory, all of these things. And I was baby. Like 5. So it's like I wasn't really, I don't know when the baby doll phase ends for children. I have no idea. But I wanted the American Girl doll. I asked for it and then she got me a Bitty Baby instead. And I was like, what the heck? By the Christmas that she got me an American Girl doll, I was basically out of the phase of wanting one. And I was like
17.
Right.
Like, Mom, this is cool, but like I don't want
I will
this.
say, just after that Christmas, when I finally got one, they came out with ones that were like American You or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they were called, but it was, you could submit a photo of yourself and then they would create a doll that looked like you.
Have you ever seen like...
I wanted one so bad.
Have you ever seen like the video games? I think that it was probably with like the early Xbox 360 Kinect system where you could like have the Kinect take a picture of your face and they would like put it on the video game characters,
No,
but they always look
terrifying.
So stupid and terrible.
No, thank you.
I didn't ever have a game that was compatible with.
No.
Also, the Kinect is trash. Also expensive.
I really wanted one of those, but I had just gotten my American Girl doll, and that next one was like $150, and my mom was like, no, which is like valid. So
I think back. Okay.
Those were my two of my expensive toys: Build-A-Bears and American Girl dolls. I have others, but...
and the toys that I played with primarily growing up, that I remember anyways, that stick out as the toys of my childhood, were Legos, and then like, I guess GameCube. It was like Lego and GameCubes. Like that's what my childhood life was all about. I mean, eventually I got into the Xbox 360, but that wasn't until I was probably like a teenager at that point.
Sure.
So like, first off, the GameCube, a couple $100, I'm sure.
By
easy.
itself.
Like, I mean, and we got the GameCube at the end of its life cycle. Like they were still making some games for it probably because like games, like Nintendo just releases games for old consoles. I mean, there's probably still stuff coming out for like Wii U at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. Maybe not. But at the time. So we got the GameCube at the end of its life cycle, but they still released a couple of games after we got the GameCube.
Right, and you could still buy the games that were previously made for it.
But the Wii was being developed probably by the time we got the GameCube.
I can't believe that's the next one.
Yeah.
That's such a big jump.
But like GameCube games were like I think $60.
Yeah.
I mean all games are still $60
baseline, which is so dumb.
So dumb. Because especially when you buy them like digitally, it's like you don't have to buy a physical copy. Right. A store doesn't have to like stock them and keep a quantity. Like it's just a little bit of code you're downloading.
Yeah.
Like really they should be cheaper, but whatever. But then Legos are freaking expensive, and I don't know if this is a recent thing, but let me tell you. Legos.
We're returning to this.
Expensive. We're going to lego.com because that's probably a place.
Yes.
Lego.com.
While you look for Legos, snippet of my Lego experience. So back in the day, they didn't have these Legos for boys, Legos for girls. Like Legos shouldn't be gendered in general, but they were. And they have been, and they didn't have the two separate categories.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that, like, Pirates more likely going to be boys Legos.
But most of the things were, I
can tell you, I ain't never going to buy no
shopping mall.
Shopping.
Yeah. Which
Lego.
They have now for girls. I think that I didn't want any of the sets of Legos, and that's pretty much what they came in. Nowadays, they have you can just buy like a bin of assorted Legos. That's what I would have wanted. I didn't want any of the sets to build. I wanted to like create my own things. But every once in a while, I would get a Lego, like a couple of pieces from a McDonald's Happy Meal. And so I had this little like quart-sized Ziploc with Legos in it from various McDonald's Happy Meals. And that was my extent of Legos. And I always just like free built whatever it was. So contrast my quart-sized Ziploc bag with your 5-gallon tote. Plural. Probably. I don't know how many between the three of you boys you guys ended up having, but I did not have half as much Lego experience as you did. What are some of them?
Yeah, Legos were my growing up. Okay.
And this was too, like, when Legos were considered toys and not engineering building bricks. Like, now they've got all the architecture sets and all that kind of stuff, which makes things...
Right. Do you want to buy a Lego Millennium Falcon?
I don't.
It's only going to cost you $800.
Holy crap!
Do you want to buy
I was ready for, like, $120.
The Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer?
Absolutely not.
Only going to be $700.
How much is a TIE Fighter?
How about a Coliseum? That's $550. Gosh. Hogwarts Castle?
Oh, man.
$400.
Yeah. But here's the thing. How many kids...
Oh, the Mos Eisley Cantina. That's pretty cool.
Don't you pretty cool me. We don't have that kind of money.
$350.
Yeah, no.
That's how cool.
No.
And they had Star Wars Legos. I also, as a kid, wasn't buying them, so I can't speak to the expense of Legos, as a kid now.
Even these are like the big sets. I remember occasionally buying them for like, even these days, buying them for Operation Christmas Child, like whatever little ones you could fit in a box, and they've got like little Minecraft sets, and they're still like, I mean, the box itself has to fit in a shoebox, right? So think of that as far as size is concerned, and they're still like $20. And I'm like, excuse me? On what planet?
Yeah, here's one. Duel on Mandalore. It's got Darth Maul, Ahsoka Tano, a chair, and a pillar for $20.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the tiniest
you get
littlest...
almost nothing for $20.
Yeah.
R2D2, $200.
Holy crap.
AT-AT,
That's a
$150. I mean, yeah,
Probably.
not like, I'm sure it's not.
Well, the AT-AT is not going to be to scale.
Well, I'm sure R2D2 is also not to scale.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty cool if it was.
That's just a wild... I'm sure that people have collected... I'm sure there is someone who has gotten the individual Legos to make a 2-scale R2.
That's pretty cool. There's a Darth Maul, like, picture. $120, but you, like, build it. And it's a picture of Darth Maul when you build it.
See, I would do that because you could hang that somewhere.
For $120, I would not do that because you could just go to Google and get a printer and print out a picture of Darth Maul and hang it on the side of your house if you really wanted.
Well, I just mean home decor is, like, very expensive in general, so that seems... reasonable if you're going to use it for
I'd say
like
the median range seems to be around $30 to $70. Seems to be what a lot of these are hovering at.
Most of the little sets, yeah.
I mean, if you want a little set,
right?
Like here's like a really small lame snow speeder for $20.
Still $20
versus like the snow speeder that I got when I was a kid, which was a lot bigger. But who knows? You can buy a minifigure of Han Solo and then a teeny tiny little Millennium Falcon just as big as him.
Great.
For $10.
Because here's the thing: how often do your kids build it? Like, how often did you guys rebuild?
Okay, well here's
after you got a set.
A couple of times. Here's what I did, which I kind of regret doing this. I took all of my Legos at one point, broke them all down, and put them in one big box.
Terrible decision.
So instead of having all my cool sets separated, I just had a bunch of building bricks.
What's unfortunate is at some point in our lives, we're going to have to separate those back out to the sets. Do you have the book still? Okay, then never mind.
What? No.
I can't believe you don't still have
I was an elementary-aged boy.
The most building...
You think I was just keeping these books like, ooh, let me keep this forever. No, I was like, sure, build, done with that, never going to need that again.
Oh my gosh. The most Lego experience I ever had
My mom probably tried to save some.
Well, because your mom bought us like that Lego Christmas Village. I built that.
Yeah. But we are adults now,
yeah,
so it's not. I save all of my manuals for stuff now in case I need to rebuild it. Like,
but not as
because
a kid,
I'm not an idiot.
Weren't saving the manuals.
As a child,
there.
I was dumb.
So you have a lot of Legos.
I have a freaking lot of Legos.
And they cost a lot of money, which is fine. You kept them. Like,
the coolest one I can remember. I mean, all the Star Wars stuff was really cool. Like, I had an X-wing, and it had like little gears you could turn, and it would separate the wings and go into attack mode. And a snow speeder, and like all of my Star Wars ones. I did have a TIE fighter. I don't remember how much it was because I didn't buy it. But Uncle Chuck and Sandy got me a big Lego castle that was really, really cool. Like, so
very nice.
I'm sure all that was rather expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I didn't buy it.
Right.
Now looking at the prices, I'm like,
I would never.
What? I'm
gonna literally be like
Lego every 3 years.
Yeah, right. I'm either gonna do the thing where you buy the bin of loose Legos, and I'm just like, make whatever you want.
I wonder too if we could like go to like a thrift store or something.
Oh, for sure.
And if they like sell big tubs of like Legos for relatively cheap, even though like without any sets.
I think my mom handed me for Christmas one year because I was lamenting my Lego plight from as a child. Like, I'm pretty sure like 2 years ago, as a full blown adult, she like sent me a gallon-sized bag of Legos that she had gotten from the thrift store.
Right.
So that's definitely like a thing.
But I still have all my Legos.
That's true.
In Florida.
Right.
We'll just have to get Silas to
move to South Dakota.
Bring out those Legos and bring my base too.
Bum, bum, bum.
The most expensive stuff I buy now are board games, which are expensive. I'd say most board games run in the area between $40 to $60.
Yeah.
And then if you want something a little bigger, it's going to run you at least $100.
Right.
So I don't...
The thing I find with children's toys is they will literally play with anything. Like, you can hand them a rubber spatula and they will be so happy.
With little kids,
yeah. Little
like
kids.
By the time that they're old enough to know they want to play with a toy. Like if I was like 10 years old and you were like, here's a rubber spatula, Ethan, I wouldn't be like, oh yay, a rubber spatula. Like, oh, I guess you hate me now.
Oh man.
My name is Cinder Ethan. So that, and then like music equipment is expensive. Like bass guitar pedals. I think
toys.
I was talking to Brett and I was like, I just got some bass equipment and I'm excited. And he was like, what's bass equipment? I was like, bass guitar.
Slap into bass, man. I definitely think that expensive toys change when you get older, right? Because it's like you're an adult now, and like I would still consider board games and
it's become more
music equipment expensive toys, but it's just expensive hobbies.
It's more expensive hobbies because I also like woodworking, like power. I mean, just having tools in general. I think is
every
nice,
time someone
tools
is like,
are expensive.
Get a hobby, I'm like, who has the money? You know what I'm saying? Like, hobbies are expensive. Yeah. There's no getting around it. Like sometimes, depending on
podcasting. What you're... okay, but podcasting was not that expensive.
Depending on who you're like, on what hobby you're getting into, especially if it comes to like a crafting kind of hobby, right? Like a DIYer sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some things can sometimes be on sale at Hobby Lobby, but like one of my hobbies right now is cross stitching. That stuff never goes on sale. Like literally never goes on sale.
You get a ton of that stuff now from garage sales.
Yes, I have found a lot of it at rummage sales, which helps me a lot. Right. But in general, like buying the materials, buying the I think it seems to be an inexpensive startup, if you will. Like I think my cost to buy materials for 3 projects came out to be like $40. But that's just the cost to buy for 3 projects.
Right.
And then I found some extra floss and stuff at rummage sales. So it's just like, you think that like, oh, I can get into this hobby. And then it's like, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I know with like stationery kind of things, hand lettering, like you said, woodworking, like in general, even if you did your base level woodworking, all the tools you have to buy to start up. Like, I guess if you were doing whittling, you might be able to be like
it's not really woodwork. It's working with wood.
Right.
But I wouldn't consider that woodworking.
Right. But I feel like if you were doing whittling, then you could just, your materials would be, well, not with the cost of wood that it is right now, but your tools, at least to start, would be cheaper.
Right.
So I feel like that's where the thing is like, you want to start a hobby, but like it's expensive. Anything you do in life is expensive. Unless your hobby is like...
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs starts charging SpongeBob and Squidward for everything that they do when they like waste time. And so he gives Squidward a bill and it's like standing, existing.
Exactly. Like, it really is. Unless your hobby is like watching TV.
Even then you still have to pay for
it's true.
a TV. You have to pay for most likely internet connection. You have to pay for...
I can't think of an inexpensive hobby. Geocaching, probably.
Also, let's not ever classify watching TV as a hobby. If your hobby is watching TV, I mean this in the nicest way possible, get a freaking life.
Like, I just think, too, that, like...
do you know about the sun? Do you know about outside?
I think of thrifting, too, also being a hobby, or, like, thrifting and reselling, and it's like you have to put so much into it, like time, energy, and effort, and money. Yeah. You know, in order to get any sort of return.
Right. But, I mean, some hobbies, like woodworking, you could potentially turn that into a profitable
That's true.
hobby if you sell your stuff.
But it's, I don't know, it's such a toxic thing in this culture to turn every one of your hobbies into
Well, and profit. That's the thing. I don't want to ever turn the things I do for fun
into a
job.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't want to have the pressures of having to make money and the pressures of... I really enjoy doing this, but I'm having to do it as a source of income now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I just don't want to be forced to do the things that I enjoy. I want to be able to do them because I enjoy them and they're relaxing, you know?
Right.
I mean, if someone were to be like, hey, then here's $3 million and you can just woodwork for the rest of your life and whatever you want to make, make, and I'll take it and...
Good agreement.
No pressure. Don't worry about making me anything specific. I'd be like,
good deal.
Do this.
Good deal.
But if it was like, hey, I'm going to commission you to make a specific piece of furniture every month, I'd be like, that is a lot of pressure for me to do.
I don't have that kind of time.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they were going to pay me enough, I would have that kind of time.
That's true.
I guess if the pay was right, I would do it.
You can do anything if the price is right, I tell you what.
Well, not anything. But...
Well, it's subject to change. Depends on the price. How much should it cost? The price.
Price cost.
Okay, not the point. Children's toys are expensive.
Oh, that's it.
They outgrow them really fast.
I probably have more Legos than anyone listening to this. Well, if Alex and Silas listen to this, then probably 100%. Not. I probably don't have more Legos
than them.
But if anyone else is listening,
we can't actually challenge that. All of your Legos are in Florida. We can't prove it.
I can prove it. Okay. I have pictures.
That's...
my Legos.
I don't like the way that sounds.
I have all the minifigures. I have all the minifigures
That's true.
here.
He does have all the minifigures.
I'll dump all my
my
figgy figures. What? My minifigures on the table here.
We can compare.
It's a big pile of them.
Oh gosh. Yeah, all of that to say, children's toys are expensive. They get more expensive as the child gets older, and then you're an adult buying those things for yourself, and it's still expensive. Pretty much. If you want to have fun, it's expensive.
Living is expensive.
Fun is expensive.
No, just living. Even not fun things.
That's true.
Working on this house is not very fun.
It's true.
But it's freaking
We just had to do
expensive.
A budget for a lot of things we have to buy for this house, and it's not a fun time. It's going to be great.
Where's my landlord? And my lawyer. My land lawyer. Okay.
All right, that's it.
Goodbye.